Ahsoka. Starring Rosario Dawson in the role. This, I am willing to bet, is... I mean, it's a limited series, so it's like Kenobi. It's only going to be one season long of maybe half a dozen episodes or so. It's either in spirit the Rebels sequel, or it's setting up a Rebels sequel.
I would prefer the latter.
I would too, because I prefer a sequel to Rebels be in animation, because then you've kind of got your quadrilogy in Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Rebels, and this next thing all in animation. But then there is just a thought again, like with her appearance in Mandalorian, I suddenly thought to myself, is this the Rebel sequel? Is this where they're going with it? Apparently not, because she's going to have her own thing. But the fact that she's having her own thing in this time period, where we know she's still searching for Thrawn and Ezra, just makes me think that it's going to maybe be in a live-action medium.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
What I initially, or the thought that initially came to mind for me was that because Ahsoka also ties into Mandalorian, right? Or it takes place with it, doesn't it?
Yes.
So with that in mind, I was thinking maybe if, say, the series focuses on like her quest to find Thrawn, because even though in her episode of The Mandalorian she asked the magistrate, where is he? It's a bit like she could still find more leads, more clues, and maybe it's like a search thing,
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because it depends on what the Ahsoka episode was actually taking place. It's kind of that whole thing we just spoke about with Lawrence. You know, if this kind of goes on to the final scene of Rebels, then we would assume she's already found the information that the character from Mandalorian gave her. I don't know if I'd want to watch. I think it'd be a waste of her character to have. Okay, this is an Ahsoka show, and all she's gonna do is try and find more information on how to find Ezra. I think just go for it. I think go for it. Just jump into it. This is what this show will take place after Rebels, with her going to Thrawn and Ezra. I want that.
Honestly, I think that just like hopes for picking him, because I'm in the Lawrence camp here of the Rebel sequel should be an animated sequence and certainly not a limited series as well. It should be full length. Because like Thrawn, like Grand Admiral Thrawn, you're not just going to limit him down to like a 5-episode series. Anyway, what I'm kind of hoping that this will go to is at this, like, something we haven't seen, because we know how Ahsoka obviously survived a fight with Vader, but we still haven't gotten to the point where she even knows what happened to Ezra on Mythal. So my kind of theory / hopes for this would be that over the course of this miniseries, she finds out about what happened to Ezra over the course of while she was absent, maybe going into why she was absent for the remainder of Rebels. And the central theme that I really want them to tackle is her coming to terms with Anakin being Vader.
Because she sort of mentions or makes reference to in her episode of Mandalorian, doesn't she, about how she knows the effects that obsession can have on a Jedi. But other than that, she doesn't really sort of go into great detail. So that would be good. That would be good to see her actually be like, what the fuck happened to you? But
because it's a very, very interesting, like, from Mortis to through the remainder of the Rebels years, or even through the original trilogy, for that, it's a very interesting period of time for Ahsoka, because right at the heels of that, Anakin literally just tried to kill her.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like this is like it's a cool idea, but it's still just a wasted opportunity. Like, isn't that what we're going to be getting with Obi-Wan Kenobi series? That same character dealing with, okay, my best friend is now Darth Vader, and now we're gonna have another show of that other character still dealing with the effects of her master and friend being Darth Vader. I'm like, okay, guys, look, listen, Star Wars is great and Darth Vader's great, but let's not milk the guy, you know. I was happy with how she delivered the line in Mandalorian, talking about, there was a guy and he turned to the dark side. I liked that. It felt emotional. I was like, okay, it looks like she's come to terms with this.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's Ahsoka, but this show's being directed by who? It's by Filoni, isn't it? And he's, he's the biggest Ahsoka fanboy in the world, with Lawrence right behind. So I don't know, but I just want them. Look, listen, do something really unique with this character. She's a really unique character. She's one of the best characters in Star Wars in general. At this point, she has just so much story. Let's move that story forward. Let's take us some places new.
I certainly think that the story will be, well, it definitely will be about her search for Thrawn and Ezra. It will be progressing that. Whether they'll take the time to address anything Vader related, I don't know, because again, it's such a limited run. You've kind of got to keep the trajectory going. It would be nice to have that acknowledgement, obviously, from a fan perspective. But you've also got to think the time difference between where she was in Rebels as opposed to where she is now is a significant period of time. Would she not?
It's been a while.
Yeah. Would she not have, in that space of time, come to terms with it all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's something that the series will spend any time reflecting upon.
They might there might be name drops of it. Of course, they'll probably do that.
Well, yeah, but there won't be like flashbacks to her pouting.
No, God, no. And it won't be like scenes of her crying on the floor. Oh, Vader.
I feel like the worst case scenario for the show could be that, because we mentioned about how it sort of ties in and links with Mando and all that. The worst case scenario is that the season is set up for her place in Mandalorian, maybe. Like, the worst case scenario would be that it's all lead up to her being on Corvus, and then
if they did that, it would be a huge letdown.
No, I don't think it would be like that, because the plan, again, it's very much like an Arrowverse or MCU sort of thing, where these 3 series are all going to lead to a big crossover event. That's my understanding of it. So it will run in parallel with Mando season 3, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ahsoka, probably be one of the best shows from this list of 10.
Certainly,
I think there's going to be a better show, and we'll get onto that. But
yeah, it's definitely one of the ones that I'm the most interested in for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
it'll be cool. Hopefully, it's got a nice logo.
Ezra's voice actor did say that he was open to appearing in future projects.
I bet he is, man. The bank is getting a bit dry for him.